It's time for Show Me the Franchise.
With Thomas and Frederick. With Thomas and Frederick.
It's time for Show Me the Franchise.
With Thomas and Frederick. With Thomas and Frederick.
Welcome to Show Me the Franchise, the podcast that talks about franchises of all shapes, sizes, backgrounds, genres, and types. I'm one of your hosts, Tom Stadler, here as usual with my fellow host, somebody who I would say doesn't know that it's only Tuesday. Fred Dakin.
I saw what you did there, and
Yeah.
it was good.
I just dropped Lemon, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, I got it. I've seen the memes and I've seen the scenes.
Oh, wait, it's not even Tuesday, though.
That's what I think. That's what was taking me aback.
Oh, no.
Tomorrow will be Tuesday.
Tomorrow will, well, of the time of the recording, tomorrow will be Tuesday. But it is, in fact, Monday. See, now I'm feeling more like Garfield. I've got a case of the Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, Fred, we are here today to talk about... I don't know. I would say a entrepreneur of sorts in the film, TV, and Broadway now.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate. What's the word when someone does a lot of stuff? They used to say Renaissance person, but now it's like there's like a science sounding word where you can do a bunch of things.
Ah, yes. I believe you're thinking of Jack of all trades. Master of none.
Like a word like that, but it sounds science-y. Like a multi-blank. But I will say multifaceted.
Multifaceted.
But that's not what I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
I was hoping you would know. You're so dang smart.
Well, sometimes I am. And sometimes I'm sharp and sometimes I'm just a little dull, like thinking that it's a Monday instead of, or a Tuesday instead of a Monday. But, I can't even get that right. So let's maybe ask our guest if they can help us out here. Because, of course, today we are talking about Tina Fey. And joining us this week, once again, returning to the show, is actor, improviser, and just an all-around multifaceted person, Jesse Skewes. Welcome back to the show, Jesse.
Hello, everybody. It's nice to be back. They would have never known what day it was either, for the record. But
I know. I feel like I've peeled back the curtain too far.
Yeah, well, they like that inside sauce. Like get behind the curtain a little bit,
Like I feel with that people do like to timestamp a podcast, but generally there's more information to go on than Monday, Tuesday. So really it's vague because it could have been recorded years ago on a Monday or Tuesday.
I mean, as far as anyone's concerned, this could have been recorded a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Boy, you guys, I hope that we don't get any torrential rains or any sort of like smoke or fire damage.
Yeah.
We have people recovering in this room from smoke damage. Jeez.
Yeah, that air quality really did a number on some people, myself included. Just
terrible.
Voice back.
Terrible.
Yeah. Got lemons. You got to make lemonade.
Oh, yeah.
True. I did a thing.
Well, Jesse, you, of course, were the person that brought up Tina Fey to us. Well, this was a popular topic, I will say. We got pitched multiple times on Tina Fey, but we were like, Jesse's got the one.
Well, that's special. I'm glad I like my my initiative saw its fruition. I am also like not firing on all cylinders today. So
that's because it's Monday.
It's because it's Monday.
It's Monday, not
if it was Tuesday, all those cylinders would have been preheated by now.
Yeah. I think initially it was like, for me, it was like 30 Rock for sure. And then it was like, well, it's more than 30 Rock. It's a franchise. Like Tina Fey is a queen. She's the bossy pants herself.
The bossy pants. Yeah. As you're holding the book or have the book nearby.
Yeah. Have the book nearby. For that power. Yeah.
Yeah. A book I've not yet gotten to read. Fred, have you read Bossy Pants?
I have not read Bossy Pants. I haven't read many books where it's that's not a full period.
A sentence.
I'm hoping you would stop right there.
I haven't read many books. No, I actually just haven't read many memoirs or just like I'm gonna say broadly any books where it's got the person who it's about or who wrote it on the cover. I've never read a book like that. Not for any reason, just haven't. Yeah.
This one's a little unique. I will say, like, without bearing the lead, if we get back into that much, is like Tina does a really good job of not just talking about herself in this. In fact, a lot of this book is like a lot of shout outs and homage and how she worked her way up, and she gives space to a lot of like writers and people that helped her along the way.
Yeah.
So, and it's also just very sharp and snappy and a really good read. I would say this would be an exception to the rule of kind of those dry autobiographies. Like, give it a shot.
Yeah, I will say that is my one problem I have with some autobiographies is it does sort of feel like some people are like trying to like gas themselves up a little bit, and it's like, okay, you're not this important. So like, whereas I feel like some biographies are a little.
You know
better.
what? I lied.
What's that?
I read The Art of the Deal.
Oh,
I'm kidding. I did.
and that's why you're so rich off
Yeah,
of your
so rich.
crypto and
That's why I love fish fillet sandwiches.
with like ketchup on them.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some people who like ketchup on their fried fish, but that's okay. Anyway, though, yes, here obviously Tina Fey did not write The Art of the Deal. She wrote Bossy Pants. But I guess the question that I have for you, Jesse, is where did you first encounter Tina Fey to begin with?
I would say, like a lot of people, like Saturday Night Live would have been like the Sarah Palin as a performer, like
Yeah.
kind of on my radar, but I wasn't like into it then. It was just like she was on my radar. Weekend Update. So Saturday Night Live, I think, is when everyone kind of got to be aware of Tina Fey. Where it really started to matter in my life is right around when 30 Rock first came out, because I was still in the Marines at the time, and I was stationed in North Carolina, and we were getting ready to do like a deployment. And during this workup, one of my roommates came in and was like, hey, he had like these DVDs of season like 1 and 2. There's only a few seasons out, and we just started binging that. So it was like during that time is when I first really encountered like, oh, this is what Tina Fey is about. Like, take me away from the world for a little bit and just make me kind of like laugh and get a little zany.
Yeah. Cool.
So like 07, 06, like, man, that's like 20 years ago.
It is. It's amazing how much time has gone by since I feel like, well, 30 Rock itself, I feel like felt so recent, and yet it really isn't.
Yeah. And before that was Mean Girls, which was like another just movie I think that means a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, and now it's even hit more people because it's just got adapted into a musical recently by Tina Fey herself. And I mean, it's just, I think now it's become such a cult hit of sorts, because at first I think people talked about it, but it was not the phenomenon at the time it came out that it ended up becoming.
Yeah. My sister and I really liked it. And just the whole, I mean, just the dynamics of that, and the entire, stop trying to make fetch happen, all this stuff. It was just a fun little back and forth I had. Like, I liked that movie, but to be honest, I haven't seen it in years, and I need to revisit it. Yeah.
Well, I think you have an opportunity. You can even watch the musical adaptation, because then they'd make the movie of the musical.
They did.
Yeah. Did you see that?
I didn't see the musical. I'm a big fan of the movie, though.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So where did you first encounter Tina? Was it also 30 Rock?
It was probably more Mean Girls and then Saturday Night Live. And I have not watched too much of 30 Rock. I've seen episodes here and there. To me, that was always what was the show after The Office. At the time, I was kind of into it. I think when I came back to it and watched more of it, I enjoyed it more once I kind of had the scope of this is like an alternate reality Saturday Night Live, and these people are kind of playing, archetypes or versions of people who are real people. But really, it's the Mean Girls, and also I feel the projects and the people that she kind of props up. Like, as a performer, there's not many skets or moments that I can draw to, but I definitely know when she's been behind the scenes and the things that she's contributed to. So I appreciate. Because I think we've run into those people in comedy. There's those head people, then there's the fire hoses. I think they call them in sitcom world. There's the people your Michael Richards or whoever. She seemed to be really good at taking those people in, like a Tracy Morgan. I almost said Tracy Jordan. And kind of harnessing what they're good at. So I've always appreciated her for kind of that behind the scenes stuff that she does. And Mean Girls is a comfort watch, and since day one, it's a big movie for me.
Yeah. A lot of debuts in Mean Girls too, but also a lot of people who I think got big because of 30 Rock that now we know their names, and like you almost get reintroduced to somebody like Jane Krakowski, right? Who was a child actor and then kind of was like, on the underground, and then boom, all of a sudden back, and it's just this huge thing again. And
she's like in the National Lampoon's movies as like, I think she's like Cousin Eddie's daughter in one.
Yeah, cousin Vicky or something like that, or whatever.
Jane's one of my divas for sure, so we'll get to her later for sure.
We'll definitely make some space for Jane. We'll put a pin in. Well, we won't put a pin in Jane, but on the topic of Jane. But I'm right there with you guys. I think it definitely felt like when I was first encountering Tina. I mean, I was watching a little bit of SNL, and then. Yeah, Mean Girls. I remember a lot of people I knew really liked the movie, and then I finally watched it, and I was like, yeah, I can see the appeal. It's really funny and just very smart, and felt very topical for the time. I was in high school when Mean Girls came out, so I feel like it was like, okay, yeah, there are people like this at my high school. It kind of felt like, Tina Fey had a very good beat on what our lives were like a little bit. Maybe not quite to the same level of like there's these plastics at our school, but certainly the popular people treated other people like they did.
Yeah, and it's something to just kind of reinforce what you both said is like Fred was saying that in Mean Girls, she's really good at taking those archetypes and kind of making them relatable. Like whether it's Tracy Jordan or like the plastics, all these things, super good at that. And like there's so many, it's going to be hard to talk about just Tina Fey on this podcast because of all the performers and the people that have been brought to light because of her works and because of her writing and her like production stuff.
I mean, you think about even something like Mean Girls, obviously we'll talk a little bit more about that. This was a vehicle for Lindsay Lohan essentially, but it felt like the breakout star was really Rachel McAdams from that movie. I mean, on top of like, basically everyone else in that movie, Amanda Seyfried, who is now, I think, anytime she's in something, it's not a small project necessarily, but yeah, certainly there's a lot to see and do there. But I mean, I think you guys already touched on, why her works have kind of persevered already, right? It's these big performances, it's these memorable, like quotable projects that have been in the lexicon since the early aughts here, or I was like, Mean Girls was 2004, and then 30 Rock was 2005.
Yeah, 05 or 06 somewhere. Right.
I was living in Wisconsin when that came out, so I think it's like 07.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Could have been right at that switch, like 06, 07, but I'm feeling more like 07.
So even like the latter half.
I think so. I think like around season 3 of The Office, I think 30 Rock was kicking in.
Yeah.
Prime 2000s, though. Like, you take that meet, like, from 02 to 2009, that was, like, big Tina times. So.
Yeah. It was, she was just kind of taking over everything NBC at that point and beyond.
Does John Hamm owe her a lot? Because would John Hamm just be a dramatic actor that we kind of, like, threw away?
That's a really deep question because there's some overlap with another kind of like maybe the more I'm hesitant to use pronouns here, but like male masculine version of Tina Fey, like the Scott Aukerman. It was also like a big John Hamm supporter. Like he's always been low key in comedy, but definitely was brought to light because of
because I knew he would like go to all those like comedy death ray shows, and like he was like a fan of the scene, kind of like I know like when Michael Sheen was dating Sarah Silverman, he'd be like at all those improv shows and like comedy stuff. So I know he definitely had an interest in comedy. I'm just more thinking like, do we get a different shade of ham because of him being used in
a different cut of ham?
Yeah, did we move from the, I guess like Mad Men's The Rump Roast, and like are we getting kind of like the rib now? You tickle your ribs when you have a joke.
30 Rock before Mad Men?
Yes, I think. Well, they were almost like
I think it was like
like
it was in the ether at the same time. That's why I brought it up.
The other, to kind of put an end cap on the John Hamm thing, at least for now, is like the fun little piece of trivia I have or knowledge would be that John Hamm was actually Ellie Kemper, who plays Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. He was like her acting teacher or something.
Oh, how
Like
funny.
he got away from acting and then came back. And so if you think about not just 30 Rock, but Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, John Hamm's on that as well. And you can kind of place Tina behind all that, like just kind of like behind all, even The Office Ellie Kemper was on eventually. Like Tina kind of has those threads, you know?
So 30 Rock officially 2006 to 2012.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Yeah, whereas Mad Men was 2007 to 2015, because I remember they also had some like breaks in between seasons as they what kept going on.
So
But I assume he's not popping up in 30 Rock till after his Mad Men.
I want to say, now this is unprompted, it's either season 2 or 3 he makes his first appearance on 30 Rock as the Doctor.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, we'll get into quotes later on though too. Doesn't he also have the quote about making like Gatorade chicken or something like that? Or like,
Maybe.
and I can't remember if it was Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt or if it was 30 Rock, and it's just like bugging me right now. But I was like, there's no way that can work. So, you know, maybe we're bringing up a good point here though too, of looking backward to look forward. We can talk a little bit about the history. Just first of all, talking about Tina Fey, where she got started. So Elizabeth Stamma Tina Fey, her full name. So her middle name, short Tina. That's where we get that. Born May 18th, 1970 in Upper Darby Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania. So maybe not far from where you were at, Fred. I don't know.
Pennsylvania is such a big state.
Yeah, I know.
But at least, you know, a couple hours away, more than likely.
Yeah, so maybe similar vibes, similar area-ish. Her dad was an administrator for the University of Pennsylvania and Thomas Jefferson University. She attended Upper Darby High School, where she was an honor student, but also a member of choir, drama, tennis, co-editor of the school newspaper. So already she was putting her, I don't know, her pokers in a lot of different fires, right?
Yeah, girl boss for sure.
Yes, already mastering that girl boss activity. Following graduation in 1988, she enrolled at the University of Virginia, where she studied playwriting and acting. Again, something we see come to fruition later on here with just her writing sketches and all that too, right? So after college, she moved to Chicago, worked as a receptionist during the day at the YMCA, but took performance classes at Second City at night. She started doing gigs at IO, which is Improv Olympics, in 1993, where she worked with Jeff Richmond, who was her future husband at the time, and frequent collaborator Amy Poehler.
Yeah.
Faye and Richmond both then got jobs at Second City, so she already kind of got into the fold there. While performing shows at Second City, she submitted several scripts to Saturday Night Live, and at the request of its head writer, Adam McKay, who was a former performer at Second City, she was hired as a writer following a meeting with Lorne Michaels in 1997, which was earlier than I thought she was on the show, but I know she was behind the curtain a lot more.
She was a writer before a performer on Saturday Night Live for sure.
Yeah. And I don't think I actually dug too much into this, but she became like head writer like right in the early to mid 2000s, right?
Let's say, yeah. And then if someone's listening, they can check it. But she became head writer, right? So
Yes. So, I mean, obviously, yeah, started as just a contributor and then became the head writer of Saturday Night Live, which is a big deal. I mean, for any comedian in the world, really. But yeah, so in 2000, she began performing in sketches officially after 3 years of just being a writer. She and Jimmy Fallon became co-anchors on Weekend Update, which I totally kind of forgot that she co-anchored with him for a while. But yeah, I guess she did not ask to audition, but Lorne Michaels approached her and asked her if she wanted to do that. Like, hey, you'd be really great with Jimmy. You should really give this a shot.
That was good.
it's good.
I'm basically just doing a version of Dr. Evil just because now that I know that's
That's what that was. Yeah.
yeah, essentially.
That's the guy from the AT&T ads.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, and He might play somebody else in other places, but
Connected.
it's all connected, Fred.
Do you think they say that on SNL? Like when they talk about people who work there, like he's connected. He's a connected guy.
He's a connected man. I think or isn't that
Aaron kill him. He's connected.
Isn't it Bill Hader that was always like Lauren will just name drop people? He's like, oh, I was talking to Prince in this one day, and I was just like, wow, we should just go get dinner, and then he called Paul Simon, and we were just like, well, let's go grab dinner together.
I did like I don't know if you guys watched the Martin Short documentary. I love how it's like showing Martin Short had like a vacation home in Canada, and it was showing all these famous people there, and then it has like the little pop-ups of who they all are, and then it gets to Lorne Michaels, and he's just on like an 80s phone, like in the back of the party with sunglasses, just like doing business.
That's hilarious. That is a very Lorne move, though. Tina made her debut, though, as a movie writer and co-star. I mean, I guess before we even get into further projects, because then this will kind of follow us along. I mean, what do we want to say about the SNL run? Because I feel like things changed when she kind of started taking the reins there, right?
Yeah, I think I really think about her and Amy Poehler together in sketches and doing the news section. That's the highlight I think of her at SNL is those two together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's hard not to like how relevant at the time the Sarah Palin impression was. Just kind of right for it. That always sticks out in my mind. And even pre SNL, the fact that they met during improv, Second City, IO, those kind of things, it just really makes sense to how things came to be. As far as her like working more as a team and supporting other people as opposed to being just a solo actor, writer.
Yeah. And it is so funny because I feel like they've started kind of the whole route too that people want to follow now, especially in like this community we're even in right now. Have either of you guys studied at IO or Second City?
I've took some workshops at IO, more than a few, usually during like IO Fest and stuff. But I have not studied their program. They're a very Herald-driven program from what I understand. And they've changed throughout the years, so who knows? My experience down in Chicago is The Annoyance, which is Tina didn't do anything there. As far as I know, I don't want to speak out of my realm. So, yeah.
My favorite sketch, because we're not doing that in the power ranking.
Sure.
I think Tina Fey wrote. I think she's in it too. I love that Colonel Angus sketch.
Oh, yeah. That is a good one. That's Christopher Walken, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's pretty good in that.
Because his name sounds like something else.
It does. And I do love that everybody's doing these types of accents in that scene. And it's just a popular accent. It's just very contagious.
Yeah. Her and like to reiterate her and Amy Poehler thing though, just kind of taking over during that time and really bringing like no matter what time and place history it is, but more feminine energy to things and kind of being like, oh, the chicks can run this too. And then they both go off to have their own like TV shows and do their own thing. So it's like the universe is a better place if those two like sistered out and met and got to do stuff together.
Yeah. Well, and it's just having, a lot more of a female forward presence at SNL, I think, versus like previous years where I'll always remember this one sketch when Twin Peaks was first big. I think we talked about it in our Twin Peaks episode too. But it's like they're trying to like basically recreate a Twin Peaks sketch. And they basically just have like Jan Hooks and I can't remember what her name is, but she kind of went like crazy, like Jesus freak.
I know you're talking about, but I don't know her name.
Yeah, it's like Victoria.
Victoria something. Yep.
Yeah, and they're like the only two like female like performers on SNL to play the characters there, and like I think Kevin Nealon makes the joke of like he's like, oh, you're not going to see the log lady like Cooper. He's like, we only had two women who are performing at SNL. We used them up already, and it's just like it's a really funny self-own, but also just like a very pertinent point of like, yeah, like we don't hire women now, and so it's just a complete genre change. I mean, yeah, and I think, you can start pointing at like Molly Shannon and Anna Gasteyer, as people who started changing
performer wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, talk about writers and going on to do more projects and all that stuff.
Yeah, but really it didn't hit the ground until Tina, Amy showed up.
It's the first like example I think most like people who are just moderately familiar with the show of like I think a female person having that kind of role. I'm sure there has been other females behind the scenes in that role that are just not as like known to the general audience.
Right.
I think that was the first time that was like kind of an accessible concept of they have someone who's kind of doing like the Lorne thing.
Yeah.
Very much so. And to acknowledge kind of the irony of the situation is that we have like 2.5 men here sitting around like talking about Tina Fey.
Who's the half man?
That's me.
I like
Yeah.
it.
That's the
I
they.
thought you were
That's the-
saying something about me.
No, Frederick, no, that's me.
Men.
Because it's hard to like
Bring out Angus, whatever his name is.
it's like without speaking out of like my power or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just like the people that Tina hopefully influenced other females to be like, oh, I can be the Lauren Michaels. I can run the show too. Like we don't need this. And it's actually in Bossy Pants, she talks a lot. She's really good at just mitigating the realities of how like sexism and things were working at the time, and also like and being able to kind of play that game maybe and still use it to her advantage and propel herself forward, and her ideas. So that's admirable.
Well, and I think, she laid a groundwork too. And I mean, even now we have a gay man, a very openly gay man who is like running the writer's room. Now you can speak about the state of affairs of SNL because I just don't know where the product really is at right now. But I think the fact that Bowen Yang is kind of taking the reins there and is, also being very representative of us, another minority is really big too. And also he's Asian American as well. So it's like there's a lot of different things happening there, but the doors were open here, I think, for the first time where you were saying, Fred, it's like it became more accessible that like, here's who's actually heading the writer's room. And it's not just like a straight white man anymore. Right. After like decades of that being the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think we see a lot of big changes there. Yeah, I think Amy Poehler and Tina Fey being the co-anchors on Weekend Update was a big moment too. But, then she starts to get some other ideas going here while she's on SNL. And obviously, the Sarah Palin thing was big back in 2007, 2008, leading up to the election cycle. I think that was one of the times I got brought back into SNL, just from my memory, was like, my God, this impression is so funny.
And like years later in 30 Rock, they kind of do an episode based around that, I think, as far as like Tracy Jordan has to play like some politician, and it, like you'll have to see the episode, but I think it's relevant that so much from Saturday Night Live got like thrown into 30 Rock in other ways.
Well, it kind of gives you a look behind the scenes, even if it's sort of a world of absurdity, right? Though with 30 Rock and being like, here is this thing that is SNL, but not exactly SNL, right? And I don't know. I mean, I guess that's where we could go next. Technically, the next project is Mean Girls, but I think it's more of a better segue to go right into 30 Rock. Since
Do you think so? Yeah, whatever you two want to do.
I mean, am I wrong?
I didn't have too much other to say about Mean Girls other than I like it.
I think maybe we could
Can
kind of
enjoy it. We can always throw more in as it comes.
we can maybe circle back when we get to like, the movies and musicals and non-TV projects, right? Because I mean, I don't think I'm overstepping my bounds by saying Tina Fey's best known thing is probably 30 Rock, right?
I would say like
Mean Girls is maybe the only
listeners
competition.
outside of that. Yeah, so and it's not really even a competition. It's
I think it's Mean Girls.
yeah.
It's like, and okay,
You
yeah.
have TV people, you have movie people, so like if you're a big TV person, it might be 30 Rock, but I think maybe in the zeitgeist it would be Mean Girls.
Yeah, I'm just going like everyone in the household. I think more people know Mean Girls.
Yeah, like when she's collecting Lifetime Achievement Award, first thing that's going to get listed is like the creator of Mean Girls. That's probably true, right?
Yeah, they'll probably say creator of Mean Girls and 30 Rock or something.
But I'd say I'd position us more to talk about 30 Rock right now because that is
It's the meat.
Right. But it's also the natural next step from SNL. Here, I'm going to make a show that spoofs SNL probably for the first time successfully.
Yeah, and in my kind of brain, like the spoof isn't quite the right word, but it's more of like the homage of like all the crazy stuff that happens behind the scenes of
Sure.
SNL. I think that's the spoof. Like the writer's room is their own set of characters. Like you have Kenneth the Page, you have the actors, and so like just the idea of a what is it, TGIS, of course, you know. TGS. Oh my goodness, I said TGIS. What am I? It's TGS, the girly show. It's supposed to be the SNL of it, and so yeah, it's I wouldn't say so much a spoof as just as far as that classic. Like you could tell the improv background and everything kind of led to that because of the way the characters were created and everything.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think spoof's probably the wrong word.
They tried to do this once before, right? But it was almost like a slightly like dramedy comedy version.
I think it was called like something on the Sunset Strip. It was an Aaron Sorkin show. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Or am I wrong? No, maybe that wasn't Sorkin. I might be thinking of Sports Night.
But I do remember it had a Sorkin-y vibe. Was kind of the pitch. It was less of a silly, like, you know, comedy version that has like, you know, the absurdity. It was more like moments of comedy, but this is how this is run, sort of deal.
Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip is what I was thinking of.
Per Bossy Pants, there's an entire chapter actually on like 30 Rock and its conception. And I know that Tina had said that originally what she was trying to do in general was like make that classic NBC sitcom feel. Your Cheers, your Friends, you know, just that classic, like something to make you want to just kind of unplug and rewind at the end of the day and just relax, you know? And it kind of became something else. She mentions is like, but then the hipsters got a hold of it and all this stuff. And because it is a little zany and a little bit more heightened than that, but at its core, I think she accomplished that. At least in my world, it's like it is a sitcom. It's just a different version of one.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I think you're right though. I think it started to pick up on a sitcom at a time when sitcoms themselves were evolving, right? Where we were no longer doing the 3 cameras set up like Friends or like Cheers, like you just mentioned, right? It's now Arrested Development has like, okay, we've got the single camera set up. We had The Office, which has like sort of like the live camera, which is more what 30 Rock kind of follows in that regard, right? You have kind of the shaky cam of like, looks like somebody's actually holding it, following the people around a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, and there's, but it's more single camera for sure.
Correct. Yeah. But no laugh track is also the big thing, right? Which is the hugest change, and I think for the better. I think shows have gotten so much better when they don't necessarily clue you. I always love a good sitcom. I'm still watching Frasier. We talked about it last
Yeah,
night.
multicam can have the laugh track. It'd be weird if it was single cam show did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In lieu of the laugh track, and this is to kind of bridge something from earlier you mentioned, Jeff Richmond, her husband, who's been with her. He does all the composition for not just 30 Rock, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, other shows as well, but he's got a very signature sound. And all the musical ambiance within 30 Rock too, in lieu of a laugh track, really sets the tempo for just kind of a carefree, zany like world that they're all living in.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, no, I think you're right though too, and that's actually a really good call out because the music is just so it's almost kind of like jazzy and sort of like, you know, a little explosive in some places.
Yeah,
it just really shows you how like, okay, this is an over the top day in the life of the staff of 30 Rock.
Goodness, and they do so much as the show goes on. Like they do spoofs of songs. They have like their own canon within 30 Rock of like fictional songs that Jenna Maroney sings. They even have a Weird Al episode where like there's an episode where Jenna has a serious song a funny song she's putting out, but then Weird Al like makes it serious, so he does like the reverse Weird Al, and there's like this big rivalry between the two. But just to kind of highlight the music part of it, like Weird Al was on that show.
Yeah. Weird Al, you can grab him from a cameo though. I feel like every now and again,
for sure.
I say that with a lot of love. I do love Weird Al. I think he's one of the few great celebrities that also doesn't let it get to his head too much. But yeah, he's never like saying, no, I won't do that. But yeah, so it was around the 2005-2006 season of SNL that Tina Fey started to develop 30 Rock, had already kind of come into this. So I was trying to remember this. So she left SNL and was kind of one of the first people to like come back and start doing like the regular cameos, right? Of like, I'm going to do Sarah Palin. Because I'm trying to put this together in my head again of how this all went down. But I think that was the case. Kind of like how they kept bringing in Jim Carrey as like Biden and Baldwin as Trump. Yeah.
So like, instead of getting a new cast member to do the thing, they brought them back for cameos.
Yeah, which I think set up what I will say is a poor trend. I think if you have this cast on hand, trust somebody to do the impression, right? Like it's fun when you can get a big name to be like, oh, I'll fly out to New York this Saturday and do an impression of whatever crazy, staff members in the White House. But
Yeah, sometimes it's elite though. I'm with you that it got bad, but like, I just think about Damon as Kavanaugh.
oh yeah, I guess. Well, and Matt Damon obviously in the zeitgeist right now on the heels of The Odyssey, which we might be talking a little more about soon, but that's just a little teaser.
And see, that's the thing with Tina Fey is it's so easy to sidetrack into a million things because like there are no degrees of separation with her. It's like
Right.
every celebrity. Matt Damon, 30 Rock, famously played Carol, one of her lovers, the airplane pilot.
Yeah. Gosh. So I will say I have watched 30 Rock, but years ago. We're going on over 10 years ago now. And I'm like, I remember episodes, but I'm also just like,
this is my jam. Like I encourage people to do themselves a favor. And although maybe some of the actual jokes might not be evergreen, like that show is just such a gem. And
Yeah.
like I can't emphasize enough, like almost anyone you talk about has done a cameo on that show.
yeah.
And it's just very special in that manner.
Yeah. Wait, are you saying, Jesse, that jokes in the mid 2000s were maybe a little too crass for even now?
Oh yeah, and to the points where it's like we don't need to hedge up drama because they obviously they cut some stuff out of their show.
Yeah.
And like that's another thing that Tina didn't really put up like a fight. She's like, yeah, okay, looked back at the work and been like, okay, we will cut this out. Like this is something that it's not how we were meaning to portray the joke. It's not what we meant, but we're going to take this out and because we're moving forward with the times.
Yeah.
Is one way to put that.
Yeah. Which I think is good that, and I think, like you were saying, there's been interviews too where she's kind of owned too of like, this was not good. And, we shouldn't have done that. Like, but at the time it was like, okay, we're trying to be edgy. We're trying to go with what was acceptable in humor.
Well, and I wonder if this is the time for me to kind of bring up something I put in the show doc about like some of the things that maybe 30 Rock did, at least for me, especially now as I'm looking at it in my current iteration as opposed to the past. Like I said, that show itself took me away from like a lot of stress and drama during the military and I was able to bond with buddies over just like jokes and things like that.
Yeah.
But when I'm looking at it now, as I embrace like my non-binary identity and I look at like embracing more of a feminine side, there was things in that show that whether a joke was handled the right way or not, they were bringing these issues to light.
Sure.
There's a dynamic on there. Like Jenna Maroney is probably one of my favorite characters. We can get in that later, but she ends up with Will Forte plays Paul, her lover, and eventually her husband. And how they meet is he's a drag queen that impersonates Jenna Maroney.
That's right.
And so their whole dynamic for the time, especially, was just very quote unquote weird. Very like for mainstream television, it's like you have like a non-traditional couple, and they're putting that weirdness out there and saying it's okay. Like there's people that feel this way, that act this way. So like at that time, I always loved like Paul and Jenna. It's like here's a character on TV who's playing like a drag queen, and who's like married, eventually gets married to like his wife, and it's just like they have all sorts of weird fun stuff going on. And even Liz Lemon, the pinnacle main character herself, like in my opinion, this is an I statement. You look back, it's like that's a very representative of the non-binary community, whether Tina was trying to do that or not. but she used Liz Lemon to like kind of break down gender norms, and it's like it's okay for a female to want to be a tomboy or vice versa, and have like the relationship she had with Jack Donaghy, you know, like mentor mentee, brother sister, not a lot of sexual tension, like, but guys and girls can be friends, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And 20 years ago, that was a big deal,
Mm-hmm.
I think. So
No, I think you're absolutely right. And I am going to harken back to Frasier where, and I was actually mistaken too, because I think one thing we call out, and this is a spoiler for anybody who hasn't watched Frasier either, but one of I think the winning parts of that series was that like Frasier and his producer Roz, like, have kind of like a little flirtatious relationship, but also at the end of the day, they are just coworkers.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's such low hanging fruit to be like, well, they should end up together, right? And it's like, and have that be the end game, where you do get into some weird territory then later in the later seasons. And I'm like, oh, I kind of don't remember that. I don't know that I like that, because I always have this fond memory of like, they broke a relationship norm. I think you're absolutely right with like Alec Baldwin and Tina Fey in the show. What's great about them is like, yeah, it's not really like a will they, won't they type situation where it would have been so easy to fall into that.
And in the last season of 30 Rock, the characters actually kind of cover that. They have that conversation about like, why did we never? And it just like, it's just worth going to watch. I think that's like season 7, episode 10-ish, somewhere around there. But yeah, that's kind of like non-sequential, but I just kind of wanted to throw that in as like an overarching thing for 30 Rock.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that if you're not familiar with the show and you're not like a hardcore fan, it's tough. It's actually a lot like Comedy Bang Bang in that way. It's like there's so much canon and fun little moments that are worth going to watch, that I think the best way to put it for me is like, my God, it was okay to be zany. It's okay to be wacky, and it's okay to like just kind of like not give a flying F about what other people think. In general, there's like a lot of those characters on there.
That's well said. It's cool. I mean, yeah, it broke ground in a lot of different ways. I think 30 Rock is constantly considered one of the all-time sitcoms now, even TV shows in general, right? But yeah, I think it opened a lot of new territory for people. And I like, as you're talking about, I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember all these characters. And obviously I was like looking this up, but it's so hard to even look up like memories about the show and be like, okay, what was going on in this situation here, and what was this, who was all in this show again? And I'm like, Will Forte, completely memory hold it.
Everybody was in the show. Just all Liz Lemon's boyfriends. Dennis Duffy to start. That's I forget his name. He's on Rescue Me, and he's like the car insurance guy.
Oh yeah, he's
Classic
Mayhem
dirtbag,
and
Mayhem,
yeah,
and, like, that's great. John Hamm, Matt Damon, Michael Sheen.
yeah.
Played was like Liz Lemon's boyfriends. Like the list are epic on that show as far as guest stars go.
Who did you say Michael Sheen dated? Like
Sarah Silverman.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, she had to have been on 30 Rock at some point, right?
Ooh, that I'm pulling my. That might be one of the few that I can't place on 30 Rock. Doesn't come to mind. Jerry Seinfeld was on 30 Rock as himself. Conan O'Brien on 30 Rock. So many. Kelsey Grammer, talk about Frasier. Kelsey Grammer. That's one of my favorite little side gigs. Is the Best Friends gang. Is Kelsey Grammer, Jenna Maroney, and Kenneth DePage do like a whole hustle to like scam cakes.
Yeah.
And it's just such a fun little dynamic.
Yeah, they are. I mean, yeah, you could grab on so many different things, but I think just them doing the whole thing of like, how are they going to pull the show together? How are they going to come up with ideas and generate that? It is a fun way to kind of pull back the curtain. We were kind of talking about that earlier too, of like Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, and just how it's like, it was almost too much of like a serious take on it. So they had like Matthew Perry or something like that. And I think this just kind of like chilled out enough to be like, well, it's not that serious, right? And I feel like, I don't know, there's been a lot of people who have litigated Saturday Night Live over the years. And they had the documentary, or not the documentary, the movie. Didn't you watch that one?
Yeah.
And was it like any good?
Well, like I didn't approach it as a movie. I approached it as I'm going to see a bunch of different actors do a character version of comedians I like.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Rhys, really good as George Carlin. Like I don't watch it. I'm like, this is a movie. I watch it like, oh wow, Dylan O'Brien does a pretty good Aykroyd. Like, you know, and it's 90 minutes of that. If you can get enjoyment of that, then it's that. If you're going to like, wonder what happened that day, I want to know about SNL, you can't go in like that.
Yeah.
I think I can take a movie and approach it as not a movie.
I mean, hey, that's still saying something. But I mean, yeah, you look at 30 Rock's legacy now, it was a smash, right? On top of everything else.
Yeah, especially if like, and you two kind of being in the improv world too, and sketch kind of world at times, like, why I might encourage a revisit. If you look at the writing even more, is like, it's a joke machine, of course. And of course, like a lot of sketch or a lot of improv, you have like a character through line that some people are, like some characters are just there to bounce jokes off. And so some people don't always glom onto that because it's like, well, where's this going? But it's very almost like sketch forward written, almost Harold-esque. You just tell the way, you know, it happens is very like the writer's room in 30 Rock is a lot of the actual writers. And a lot of those people are some of the best improvisers around. John Lutz, you know, he played a version of himself on there. And Scott Addist, who plays not Frank. Oh my goodness, I am just out of it. But Scott Addist, John Lutz, they're like an actual duo prov in real life that I got to see in New York, and it's just it's insane to think about like the amount of talent and chops on that show.
That's funny. I you know what? I think I knew John Lutz he is JD Lutz in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scott Addist is Pete.
Yeah, who plays the producer kind of, or the, you know, of the everyday in and out guy. And you just wouldn't know that most of those people were also writers and improvisers on the show.
Yeah, although it's I always think of Judah Friedlander playing Frank.
Yeah, that's Frank. Yeah, of course.
Who?
It's just loaded with so many characters that it almost, there's not enough time in the day to like, I'm trying not to tangent too often.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what there is to say about 30 Rock that would take less than 3 hours. So like, maybe a little guidance here as far as where we want to steer the conversation.
Sure. Well, I mean, you know, even just to talk about some other writers that were on the series, I think notably they pulled in a lot of young talent. Donald Glover being one,
yes,
who then went on to develop his own TV show and movies and everything else.
His own multi-hyphenate universe, you know, like
That was the word.
Multi-hyphenate.
There it is. See, call back.
See, oh man,
and that was his first. Right, he was like fresh out of NYU. Tina talks about it in the autobiography. All the writers on there. Something she did was like gave all the writers a shout out and then like said her favorite like quote that they wrote. So once again, like saying, like not making it about her, like here's what these people brought to the show.
Yeah,
came to be. But yeah, Donald Glover for sure. That's huge. Robert Carlock, her like partner, right? I wouldn't say writing partner, but he's responsible for Kimmy Schmidt and 30 Rock. Like he's a big force there. So many.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to go through here again. Yeah, you said like Jack Burdett was also another big contributor.
Did he write for like a lot of the NBC stuff too?
Yeah, I think he's kind of been he did Frasier, Modern Family, Mad About You, you name it. But yeah, I think when you look at this though, you kind of see how Tina Fey was bringing her style into the television sphere outside of SNL, right? She kind of had made this impact there. She made this impact with this show, but also kind of you guys were saying, she's platforming all these people. Tracy Morgan was very funny on SNL, but I don't think he was ever fully utilized to any capacity that he was capable of that he finally got the chance to do in 30 Rock, right? Where it was almost like, let me take the most unsung hero on these past casts of SNL, give them a chance to actually like show what they could do, and he just crushed it on that show. He's so fucking funny.
He is. and Kenneth DePage. These are iconic characters, which I know was originally a Conan O'Brien bit. Once again, though, was brought into an actual character on that show. Just the list, I'm just going through my brain. Like literally everyone on that show was platformed by her. that you wouldn't have known, like, oh, they actually did this or they're behind this.
Yeah.
Jack McBrayer, his dad was my math teacher
Oh,
in
Really?
Georgia.
Wow.
He's from that Georgia area.
yeah.
Really? He's from Georgia? Couldn't
If
tell.
His dad, like, he looks just like his dad, that big goofy face.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I love Jack McBrayer. I think he's, well, I won't show my hand on anything if we talk about performances or anything, but
Oh yeah, that's the thing. We can't show our hand. And that's the thing about 30 Rock. Is like later in like the performance segment we can get to that. I'll just say the show meant so much to me, and it helps me not take life so seriously, and unwind and kind of like regulate my nervous system. Just to kind of dive into that kind of almost surreal world, but anchored by such real world things. It's something that like Tina Fey is able to do so well, is like make a caricature of a person, like this over the top caricature, but yet still have it feel like real and grounded, which is tough to do.
yeah, well, and Emmys took notice. It was an Emmy Award winning show. I mean, Tina Fey herself was nominated for Best Perform or Actress, and the show itself won Primetime Emmy for Best Primetime Emmy, not a Primetime Eddie. I'm still thinking Frasier for a minute. I would love a Primetime Eddie though. I don't know you guys. But it won for Outstanding Comedy Series. Would do that, I think, for 2 subsequent years after that too. But so. This was a smash hit, ended in 2012 after 7 seasons, as you kind of mentioned. So it had a really strong run. I would say definitely more complete than The Office. The latter half of The Office is kind of a tough hang.
That's a matter of opinion.
Wow. Oh, you're the Office defender of.
I will like not to cut into Tina's time too much. I will say this. I liked the fact that I thought they did a decent job after they lost Steve Carell of eventually getting back to what mattered, especially by the final season, like the relationships between Dwight and Jim. And if it weren't for Steve Carell leaving, we wouldn't have had like the Idris Elba cameos, and also Robert California might be one of my favorite TV characters. So like, despite all its hardships, I still kind of defend The Office a little bit. And I will say their finale, I think the series finale of The Office is one of the better for a comedy, like a very heartwarming like completion of the show. That's all I'll say.
No, I will give you that. I'm not here to yuck anyone's yum. If you like the latter half, I would argue though, I think 30 Rock had a stronger second half. That's where my stance would be. But not to say Office was bad, although I'll hold it for the Office episode. We'll get into it, Fred.
I'll watch those supersize episodes.
But you're right. 30 Rock did hold it, kept gaining momentum, kept leaning into what it was, and then didn't go too past like what it should have been.
Right.
Which is like almost a segue into like there eventually became Kimmy Schmidt, and then another show as well that kind of all lean on that same kind of humor. But yeah, it got very strong. In fact, the 7th season is some of my favorite episodes are in the last season of 30 Rock. So,
which is, I mean, I think a hallmark of a good show when they can come back and save some of their best stuff for last and be like, all right, we've been sitting on this idea, or you know what, these have been in the writer's room for a bit. How do we make this a reality? And it's just a funny.
And a lot of that is because it wrapped itself up by paying homage to like the seasons. It built itself up. So they're calling back characters and bringing back characters and kind of put a nice little bow on it. Man, like Hank Hooper, if people don't like know that character, love me some Hank Hooper and his the guy that eventually takes over is Cabletown that buys out NBC. Like that character is so great. And he gets a lot of light in the 7th season. And of course, why can't I think of her name right now? She plays Haley Hooper, the niece that's like Jack's little nemesis on the show. She was in Kick-Ass back in the day.
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Grace Moretz, 30 Rock, right there.
Good
pull. One of the fun, like most fun little dynamics is the fact that Jack Donaghy's like arch nemesis is like a 16-year-old like rich girl, and it's just so great.
It is just, yeah, it's just like a lot of silly stuff that I just love that it comes to fruition. But she had this great success on this show, and so it's like, okay, what's gonna be the next big project? Which she obviously did a lot of things in here. We only have so much time on this episode to talk on so many things.
Speed run.
Sorry to like the Sisters fans out there. I don't know if you guys are fans of that movie or Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, which
I like Baby Mama.
Baby Mama I've heard is good. I've actually never seen it though.
Some good Steve Martin in there.
He's in that.
He's in it extends more than you would think, and it's good. It's kind of like Al Pacino and Jack and Jill. There's a lot more of it than you think.
Dunkachino? Are we still back on Duncan?
Al Pacino's like fourth lead in that movie.
It's kind of bonkers. Just I don't know what that says about Al Pacino or what it says about Adam Sandler that he can get somebody to be like, yeah, I'll do this for as long as you need me. Maybe I'm just thinking too much about the Fokker-in-Law trailer that I just watched before Spider-Man.
That upset me.
Yeah, it looks rough.
There's a new Meet the Parents type thing coming out.
Yeah,
Ooh.
the whole thing is that
Is Ariana Grande supposed to be in that?
she is.
Okay.
She's the Fokker-in-Law. Supposed to be.
The titular Fokker-in-Law. She's a very talented comedian from what I've seen. So
It's good and wicked. Mhm.
yeah, good on SNL when she does it.
It's but yeah, it's the whole thing is like she'll be like the rival of like Ben Stiller as like his future daughter-in-law, and he's trying to do the De Niro thing, but she ends up having more in common with De Niro than with Ben Stiller naturally.
On paper, smart, but watching that trailer made me very sad.
Yeah, just like we've done the jokes now, right?
I don't even think Meet the Parents is that funny.
No, again,
If you go back and watch it.
a movie that probably if you revisit it now. But getting back to the Tina Fey of it all, so she had this success here, and she started foraying into movies and more projects that she was kind of producing from afar, but maybe didn't have a lot of creative control involved in. Like she did Date Night, I know was like one that she was more just actress forward. Megamind, she was in.
Date Night with Steve Carell, correct?
Yeah. But then she also finally came up with another idea for a TV show, or at least something that she would be more heavily involved in, and that would be Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Another, just like my whole theory on my little like conspiracy theory is that Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and 30 Rock are actually in the same world.
Oh,
That's just my little theory.
it's an interesting. Isn't there a shared character between the two? I can't remember.
There's a few. So the boyfriend of Titus, who's a construction worker,
Yeah.
who like eventually comes out as gay on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, is actually in 30 Rock catcalling Liz Lemon and Jenna Maroney on their way into work one day when they're feeling all
right.
really, when it rains, it pours. And he's like, hey, girl, he's like catcalling them. And he's a construction worker in New York, which is what he plays on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, that's right.
And there's a reality show, a fake reality show on 30 Rock about Queen of Jordan, Tracy Jordan's like wife. And one of her like cronies is the same as Titus Burgess, who plays Titus on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, funny.
But since he's an actor of a reality show on 30 Rock,
Mm-hmm.
and he actually plays an actor on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, this is my little conspiracy theory that like it can be justified. Now you have the Jane Krakowski of it all, who my justification there is that Jenna Maroney is just unhinged and crazy enough that she'll be living two lives. That like she goes and like lives this Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt life and then comes into 30 Rock and is like Jenna again.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents on that they're in the same universe.
I think there's probably enough evidence there, though. I mean, come on, it's not an accident they kept naming Titus, right? Like,
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to think that way.
yeah. Have you watched Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
I've not.
You've never
It's
watched?
on the list.
It's pretty fun. Certainly Elliot Kemper, also somebody coming back to The Office, right, who kind of had their breakout there. It's like, okay, well, here's somebody who is sort of maybe not unsung. I think
At the time, maybe a little bit.
She's the dang Cole's mom.
she is the
Yeah.
Cole's mom now. Yeah, I mean, we'll maybe ignore some of the other outside activities that she's involved in.
Wait, what?
Oh, I don't know about this.
You can't just say that and say we're not going to talk about.
Didn't you guys ever hear about like the debutante balls that she was like attending? When she
Oh,
was
no, I didn't.
Well, Ellie Kemper's from the South, and let's just say that the club that she was like a ball winner or something like that was a very exclusive type of club, one that might have been closely involved with other K-type associations.
Oh, let's
Yeah.
She probably went to a Pimps and Hoes party at least once. Just huge in the
let's
South.
That's good. Not get down that road.
Yeah.
I think the thing is like she brought up like Ellie Kemper as a almost archetype is Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Right.
That's another thing Tina Fey was able to like just bring to the forefront.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think was a nice way to try and channel her into something big, right? Where it's like, hey, Ellie Kemper is like, has this kind of like can-do attitude.
The proverbial ingenue type, just like
Look at
trying to-
you with these like
Yeah.
terms today. You're some size smart voice, eh?
that really like innocent, like naive look at the world, like channeling comedy through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think some of the jokes too, though, about like them surviving being like the cult, like what are they, just like the cult wives or whatever of John Hamm. Once again, great role for him in this show. Hamm basically playing like a cult leader, but his like name is the Reverend, right?
The Reverend, and he's also a DJ. Like it's insane. It's the one part of the 30 Rock Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt theory that I can't marry. Because Dr. Baird he plays on unless he's another one that has like 3 lives, which could be justified.
You thought about introducing a multiverse to this theory.
Oh yeah. Well, if you introduce the multiverse, then it's over. It's there.
Maybe that is how you can make it work. Is that Jane Krakowski has these different lives where she's the, very. Not highfalutin. That's not the word I'm looking for. I can't even do what you're doing right now, Jesse. I'm just like she's doing good in the show.
Well, my brain's there sometimes on recall. I do have a serious question.
Yeah.
Like, I really have to pee.
Oh yeah.
And you can cut this out, but like, I don't know. If,
No,
like,
leave it in.
Yeah, leave it in. But I have to pee so bad.
All right. So Jesse's made his way back from the other side of the multiverse of the stewed.
Yeah, the old stewed.
Yeah.
In-house bathroom, gotta love it.
Yeah. Hey, what can I say? We provide amenities here. Everybody comfortable? Everyone feeling okay?
Yeah.
For sure.
We're rolling with this. Nothing's getting cut from this episode. We're just gonna have it all.
Yeah, we're all friends here.
It's all canon now.
I just snagged a diaper from the living room, so I'm good.
Hey, now we need those. You take a diaper, you leave a diaper.
I'm going to leave it when I'm done
Take
with
a
it.
diaper, leave a diaper.
Trust me, I'm not taking this diaper with me when I'm done.
Oh God.
Hey, do you want practice?
Come over here. I'll show you how to get it. No.
Perfect. Oh my goodness.
The
Baby Fred, just change him over.
the diaper fits. But yeah, Kimmy Schmidt definitely was something that I think kind of caught me by surprise too, because I think even at that time, I could be wrong, I don't know that I had watched a lot of 30 Rock yet. Like, I think I'd watched episodes here and there, but then when that came out, I was like, all right, well, I've heard so many good things about this. I think I'll check this out on the ground floor. I remember really liking the first season quite a bit. And the first couple seasons, I do remember being strong. But I know I finished the series. Honestly, I just have a lot of trouble remembering where it even went.
As a super fan too, I really think there was only like 4 seasons of Kimmy Schmidt. There might have been 5, but I missed the first couple were super strong and an amalgamation of like 30 Rock and Mean Girls put together, like as far as the vibes.
Yeah, I mean, and also again, it did feel like it was kind of pulling in the same sort of like feel of 30 Rock, where it's like you have a lot of strong performances, fun guest cameos and stuff. You know, Tina Fey, not a prominent part of it, but she does play a lawyer in there, right?
Yes, she starts doing what she does later on is like more cameo type roles.
Yeah.
And once again, taking a back seat kind of and forwarding other people and talk about like she put Jane Krakowski back on that show. Like you can tell she's got people's backs like, as far as like keeping their careers going.
Yeah, I do remember there being a lot of very specific jokes about the Washington football team and like Dan Snyder, who is like an old owner. It's humor that like
Oh, that's because of the husband, the person that Jane Krakowski's character ends up getting engaged to. His family owns the Washington football team, at the
Right.
time. And that actor is, got a little Arrested Development crossover here, David Cross.
That's right. I love a David Cross.
Yeah.
You know, I love a Canadian Cross often, you guys, but a David Cross I love almost as much. But it definitely was something that I felt like when it hit at the time, people were in, and it was like one of the few times where, you know, people would always try and do. I have a very like short like aside here that also is related to this show. So the theme song is very much like a parody of like auto-tuned songs at the time, where people would take like news clips and like remix them into like, you know, it was like really catchy songs. And that's how Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt's theme song is like, oh, Unbreakable, we're alive, damn it. It's like all about like the news thing of them being found from being underground for years because they were assumed missing. And I was like, this is the one instance where I felt like somebody was trying to recreate a meme. And it worked, where I do feel like every time shows try to incorporate a meme or something, or movies, like where they're like trying to fabricate it, it feels so inauthentic.
You're right on the point there. And I think it's akin to the whole Jeff Richmond of it all.
Yeah.
Who is also like what Tina Fey, the franchise, Jeff Richmond, that's her partner. And he did the music for Kimmy Schmidt as well. And they're always very good at doing that.
Yeah.
Whether it's a Weird Al thing or coming up with like an in-universe song, like not actually making that work. The idea of like whether it's a meme or a spoof song, like
Yeah. I just felt like, do you guys know what I'm talking about though too? Where like people will try and be like, oh, I turned your like video clip into a meme. Look at this. And it just feels like this isn't that funny. Like,
yeah.
And The Office did it poorly.
which with what?
Oh, I'm so gonna cry.
Oh,
Wait,
God, I don't remember
I don't even
that.
remember that.
It's when Andy goes on the fake American Idol,
Yeah, you're right.
and they do the like, oh, they turned it into a
like a viral meme
viral
from early
thing.
days of that.
Yeah, it's always bad when
And
it
it was
happens.
poorly done. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I think about that group, that YouTube videos when they would do it, it was fucking the sauce.
Yeah.
I mean, they're Star Wars lip reads.
Oh.
Those are all the same people.
Is it really?
I think it's all those.
Is it auto-tune the news? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yeah,
That group?
and they also do the NFL like the voiceovers too.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
An orange peanut for me. I accept you. This is my favorite.
Well, absolutely a catchy intro song to Kimmy Schmidt as well. And it ends with females are strong as hell.
Yes.
So like another just message, Tina just putting that out in the universe, you know?
Yeah, and it's one of those songs that just like picks up on you. I was actually trying to remember too, because I know Tina Fey produced the show, but I don't think she wrote or did anything for it. With Girls Five Eva, was Jeff Richmond involved with that?
You'd have to look. The reason I want to say yes is because like I think he's like does all this stuff to include like another show that I'll probably plug at the end of this that's in the Tina Fey universe that she didn't write but produced and acted on a little bit. But it was actually I'll just say it now while you're looking it up. Is there's this little show that only went for 2 seasons on NBC called Great News. And Tina Fey produced it, and the person that created it was former Tracy Wingate, who used to write for 30 Rock. And this is kind of like if you have 30 Rock, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Great News was kind of like that last missing piece akin to that like style of humor with a lot of and Jeff Richmond did the composition for that.
Oh, okay.
Nicole Richie is on that show. Horatio Sands is on that show.
Oh boy, another person who's aged great.
But just like
Yeah.
If you have not seen Great News and you're a fan of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and 30 Rock,
Yeah.
it's a must see. And it's once again just everything that Tina kind of puts out into the universe, very female forward, very like takes on like it's just like the everyday runnings of a news station, only very heightened. So that's my little plug for Great News.
That's a great. I mean, it sounds like a really fun show. I have not watched any of that. I don't think I've ever been.
Never heard of
exposed to
it.
Have you?
Not to be confused with John Krasinski's new show.
Was that also called Great News?
I think it was like Good News, maybe.
Oh, I mean, but I did look up Girls Five Eva because I was like, didn't I see that Tina Fey, she is an executive producer on that show? Not to jump too far away from Kimmy Schmidt if we do want to say more about that. But Jeff Richmond is composer on the show, which
makes sense. He does it all for like he's part of the Tina Fey universe in that way.
Have you watched that show?
I've seen a few episodes and I want to see more because I really like Sarah Bareilles.
Yes.
And I really like Tina Fey, obviously. It's just one of those things that I haven't gotten around to, mostly because I don't have Peacock right now.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, I need Peacock because there's another show like this, The Life and Times of Reggie Dankins.
Yeah,
is something that if Tina Fey had not been around, that show wouldn't be in existence.
Well, no, it's almost basically feels like it's Tracy Jordan coming back, right? In a way.
I watched a handful of episodes and that's what it felt like, kind of redoing it.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing about Great News, because just actor-wise,
yeah,
Andrea Martin is on that show, and so is John Michael Higgins. So just like these classic, just give it a whirl as we get back to Kimmy Schmidt.
No, I do love when there are people though that you see kind of pop into these shows, and then they'll kind of go on and become almost like a household name of sorts. Like I remember like even like watching like some of the old like not Judd Apatow movies, but they were like almost like the ones that were very similar, like role models with something, or it's like Paul Rudd and like Sean and William Scott. But then you got like Ken Marino as playing like a small role in that, and I was like, who is this guy? And then now he's like one of my favorite people.
Yeah, it's just like where everything gets weaved in, because John Michael Higgins was also on Arrested Development,
right?
Just like the David Wayne universe of like the whole Wet Hot American Summer. A lot of that is like very akin to Tina Fey's universe as well.
I'm almost surprised that Tina Fey wasn't involved with Wet Hot. It feels like so her shit.
Yeah, like I can't speak intelligently enough to know. She might have been too young, but like a lot of people that were on Wet Hot are in the 30 Rock and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt like universe as well.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think her shows are ridiculous, but there's still a grounded nature. Like 30 Rock is pretty grounded. I feel like The State is like absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like Wet Hot itself is just like completely bonkers. Like there's like they go off and they're all like doing heroin in town. Like it's just like I'll never get over that scene. I'm like, what happened here? It's just
They Came Together. I just watched for the first time. Well, not the first time, but rewatched it in a long time. I love that movie.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, it's sorry. It's so easy to get on a tangent like you're saying because you go through the 6 degrees of separation. And you're like, well, this makes me think of this. This makes me think of that, which is, I think, something that her stuff does. Right? It's able to call from. It's like being a good improviser. You need to have the pop culture lexicon to know, like, okay, this is referencing this. Speaking back to like Kimmy Schmidt or something like that, right? It's like, the whole Pinot Noir again,
another spoof song, if you will.
Yeah,
it's like Pinot Noir,
but also became like its own meme where I would see like people like posting like Titus Burgess like holding the wine going like Pinot Noir, like it's like, okay, it's a wine night, what are we gonna get? Pinot Noir.
There's a few bangers that Titus does on that show, just songs that I love.
Yeah, and I don't know, I do feel like there were times where I was waiting for that show to really take some big swings. And sometimes it did kind of feel like it was almost kind of retreading a few of like the older storylines of like, well, Kimmy's got to like grow up and like figure out that she's not just the little girl anymore. And then it's just sort of like, but then she falls back into herself. Maybe I'm thinking too hard on like, people have been talking about Toy Story kind of retreading itself recently too. But
yeah. And it's that same thing with, it's like at the end of the day though, like they want to maybe not retread, but just like, this is what the show's trying to be. We're not going to try to like all of a sudden make it this big complex thing. Let's just enjoy the moment and the ridiculous like kind of character that is Titus and Kimmy Schmidt and who plays, I can't think of the actress's name, who plays like the New York neighbor, like the rough and tumble.
You're thinking of Carol Kane.
Yeah. Just another just classic like character actress that was like where she's supposed to be on that show.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Unfortunately, somebody who almost requires subtitles now, I feel like in a lot of stuff they do recently. She's been on Star Trek Strange New Worlds recently, which we've been watching, and unfortunately her saying like sci-fi terminology and everything is just like inscrutable sometimes, where it's like the subtitles are almost an absolute necessity. And she's great. She's hilarious still. And she's wonderful on Kimmy Schmidt too, which I think they kind of have that formula of like bringing in an old actor presence, right? Of like you had Alec Baldwin in 30 Rock, you have Carol Kane in Kimmy Schmidt. But, you know, and it's like, then you also bring in, you know, somebody who has been a little undersung, right? You have like Ellie Kemper to like the way they had Tracy Morgan. And then you have like, or, you know, like somebody who was maybe just more of a character actor like Titus Burgess, who's a background guy in 30 Rock. Okay, now he gets a bigger role in Kimmy Schmidt. And it's just so...
and it's making me want a tangent, but we'll save it for the end. If you think about the Broadway play Oh Mary, how many of the Tina Fey universe people ended up being cast in that play at certain times.
Okay, we might need to litigate that right now, because Titus Burgess has done that.
Yeah, he's
right?
done it. Titus, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Jane Krakowski playing Mary. Cheyenne Jackson, who Danny from 30 Rock. He plays John Wilkes Booth in that. So it's just kind of you talk about like whether it's unsung or people that just don't get recognized for their talents. Like, look at where they are now.
Yeah, which I think is cool. Have you seen Oh Mary yet?
I have not.
Me either. I'm like, I think it's coming in January to Chicago.
It is.
I'm like,
The main person doing the role again in Chicago?
Cole.
ooh.
I think I saw that.
If they are, I'm like, hey, listen, I need a break from
Baby's got to learn about history.
Hey, baby, we can find a babysitter for a night.
Let's strap it on. That's a free ticket.
Like, even though Cole is the writer and they did a great, like, it is like such a, if you're a fan of 30 Rock, Unbreakable Kimmy, you're going to love that play. You just need to see it. It's a very like, it's iconic. No, there's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
And to see Jane get to play Mary was, it was everything I needed to be. I cried. Yeah. So that's like my little plug for Oh Mary, relating to just all these actors that we're talking about in the TV show that, oh my goodness, they're on this Broadway play.
Right.
Yeah.
They should get Sally Field to do it.
Reprise
her role.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say, you gotta work on your girlfriend, man. Maybe just be like, hey, just put a bug in her ear like January.
It might be a hard push to get my girlfriend to go to theater. It might be tough.
This girlfriend very into theater. So but yeah.
Yeah, we're still on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah, which, you know what? I mean, do we have a lot more we want to say?
I mean, how much Four Seasons talk do we have?
Yeah. Oh, that's the newest.
Yeah.
My sister likes that show. Once again, haven't seen it because the NBC. I don't have the Peacock right now, but
That's on Netflix, I believe.
oh, is it?
Four
I don't have that one
Seasons?
either.
That is based off an old movie from the 70s.
You know what? My
With
mom was
Alan
just
Alda.
telling me about this. Yeah.
Tina's. That's a
Alan
Tina thing.
Alda.
That girl just does not stop.
Coleman Domingo?
Oh, now you're saying the right words to me. You're speaking my language.
It looked a little like dramedy in your 40s, 50s vibe. And look, some of my favorite movies are that. You know, I love, like, this is a whole rom-com argument I have with my girlfriend, is like, I like my rom-coms, I like my women in their 40s to 60s. I like something's got to give. I don't want 27 dresses. So it does feel like it would like hit the right spot for me. But it definitely seems a different flavor of comedy. It seems more like grounded, relationship based versus a 30 Rock show.
Well, especially if it's an adaptation of an old movie, though, too. I think you are probably getting something that's a little more like old fashioned that you're trying to modernize. And there's always that element of it has to try and maintain something of the original material. And that's either going to, resonate with you or it's not sometimes.
Well, it's interesting. It's based off a movie, and they did a season 1, and now they just released a season 2. So they really expanded whatever this, which I think is a basic premise. I think it's people in their age, older, going on vacation as like couples, and like how that's different than maybe when you're in your 30s. Like
Yeah.
that's the vibe of the show.
Which, hey, it is different.
Hits different.
It hits different when you go on vacation is when you're a little bit older. I'll say that. I don't know why I said that. Like,
Benjamin Button.
yeah.
It sounded a little bit like Colonel Sanders to me too.
Well, it's a secret blend of herbs and spices. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think it's interesting to see her kind of go in a different path there. And maybe this is a good way to transition to her movie catalog, because obviously we fast forwarded from 2004, but going back, that was one of the first things she was working on even before 30 Rock became a thing, was getting Mean Girls made. And we have said it already, Mean Girls was such a phenomenon over time. But I felt like at the time it was big, but am I wrong? Was this as big as I think it was? Or
Pretty seismic at the time. I definitely think maybe it like went away and then came back as a cult classic, but it was huge. I remember when it came out.
It's big time for millennials, that's for sure, and maybe elder Gen Zs.
Elder Gen Zs. What a term.
It's a thing now. The elder Gen Zs are in their 30s now, right?
Yeah. But it was like kind of based on a book, right? Of like, I think it's called Queen Bees and Wannabes or something like that, right? And so she took this, wrote the screenplay, and yeah, and then it's like everybody in the cast becomes somebody, even like Lizzie Kaplan, who at the time is like unrecognizable.
Oh yeah, Lizzie Kaplan. My goodness, I forgot about that.
Yeah. And it's just like you go down the list and you're like, oh yeah, that person did something. That's if anything, I feel like Lindsay Lohan was the only one that got, sidelined a little bit because she had so much personal baggage going on, which was also media driven, kind of in a Britney Spears type route. But
well, and then who was she was on Party of Five, I believe. No.
Well, Lizzie Kaplan was, yeah.
It was. Oh my goodness.
Lizzie Kaplan was on Party Down.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Party Down.
Party
Down.
5 is Nev Campbell, I thought.
Yeah. I was thinking Party Down. I'm sorry. Not Party of Five. Party
Yeah. Well, I love that I knew what you were saying, and then you're like, no, the thing's Party Down.
I was like, Lizzie Kaplan's not that old. My introduction to Lizzie Kaplan, True Blood.
Really? What season did she come in on that?
She is like the hippie, like one, and she's doing like the drops of the vampire blood with the dog boy. I don't know their names anymore.
Oh, Sam?
Not Sam, I guess. It wasn't the dog guy. It was her brother.
Oh, yeah. The stupid Jason.
Yeah,
whatever.
Jason starts seeing this kind of granola girl, and it ends up like she's like addicted to doing vampire blood. And she kidnaps Stephen Root, and they farm him for blood. What a great show.
Classic.
You'd love True Blood.
And if it weren't for Mean Girls, True Blood might have never happened.
Probably.
Yes, probably not. Sucky.
Suki.
We're gonna save it for the True Blood episode.
Hell yeah.
Does True Blood have its own? It might be a Patreon. That's probably Patreon content, right
Oh,
there.
there's a lot. You gotta talk about the Snoop Dogg song.
Oh my god.
Remember he came out with that song? Oh, Suki.
Oh,
We'll do it in the daytime. Bill won't know a thing. Come on, Suki, take this Mary Jane cookie. You can fight with me. You know vampires can't hook me.
I can't believe that was an actual thing. Mean Girls, though, so big,
Yeah.
big thing at the time, I think, and even bigger
This
over
was
time.
pre-Notebook, right? So like Rachel
Yeah.
McAdams and
This might have been same year as the Notebook, I want to say, which I think was what was so crazy is that like Rachel McAdams went nuclear after this, and then I think the next year was Wedding Crashers, like right after that,
Right around then, yeah.
and then yeah, I did finally get to see
Send Help. Hell yeah.
recently. What a ridiculous movie, but also I kind of had fun.
That's an ultimate girl boss movie.
That is very much. We're talking about girl bosses. Rachel McAdams in Send Help is a girl boss, taking the reins there.
and then like Amanda Seyfried, who like later on Mamma Mia, and like you didn't even know was such a talented musician. I think there's this clip that I love watching where she plays a Joni Mitchell song on late night, the song California, and it's just like that's Amanda Seyfried back in the day. Like that movie launched a lot of people. And I think when I think of Mean Girls, what spoke to me about that, now that I'm putting myself there, is like what she got right was no matter the situation, the plastics and all the high school cliques, was that classic, like, do you kind of disown who you are to be popular, or like what parts are you sacrificing, and like how are you going to leave your friends in the dust to grow? And it's just so it's a very like once again brings that grounded take to the comedy of it.
Yeah. And I think that's something that, I mean, I can't say I know a lot about. I was not popular in high school. Were you guys in the popular cliques when you were in high
I was
school?
very middle class.
Like I was like a less impressive Ferris Bueller.
Less impressive Ferris.
Like I could bop around, but I wasn't as cool as Ferris Bueller.
That's kind of how I felt too.
I was not, but like at times because I tried to do like sports instead of theater and things like that.
Sure.
So like I had that like Lindsay Lohan's character. I had that like, oh, maybe I want to try to be popular. What decisions would I have made if like would I have like disowned my friend groups or whatever to go to the cool party and like do the cool person thing. So I don't know. Because I definitely wasn't, but I definitely like have that conundrum in my head. Like if I was given the chance and became like really popular, at what cost? At what cost?
Yeah. No, I think it's a great question though to ask too, because I think listen, like high school was definitely a time where I didn't care about being accepted by all the popular kids. And, and I feel like our school was weird. Like the government, like student body were like the plastics essentially. Like it wasn't, and I was a jock though too. I played football in high school and I did wrestling and all that too. But I also like hung out with all the choir and drama kids. So like those were like my good friends. So like after I was done with football practice, be like, all right, I'm gonna go hang out down by the Black Box Theater. And so it's just a weird time. But it's like if I ever got an invite to like a popular party, I'd be like, well, yeah, I'm gonna go because it's where all the cool kids are. And then I remember going to one of the parties and being like, this kind of sucks. Like, because nobody here is really my friend. Like, and you almost realize, like, this is where you have to kind of self-reflect. And I think that's why this movie did resonate with me when I watched it for the first time, because it was this theme of, like, are you willing to sacrifice? Because I would think my answer is, like, yeah, fuck, the plastics. Like, I don't want to be with them. Like, I don't want to be them. Like, sure, the idea of status is great, but I don't know. It was, I think what even resonated with me more is like how people would gossip about each other and how that stuff would go around, like their burn book, right? And like that being such a thing that would resonate, like, and like you almost have a student body like breakdown with that.
Oh, the burn book. I love that concept though. Like I still say that to myself, like putting that person in my burn book.
Yeah, I remember the big thing with there was a couple of people at my school, it was middle school that were like they had like a notebook that they would switch back and forth between classes that they'd write stuff. Apparently that got like taken in by a teacher or something. Kind of like before the burn book, like this was my burn book. Apparently they like had written a bunch of scathing, awful things about teachers, students, and it was like a whole scandal.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Were you in the book?
Maybe.
You don't know though for sure.
A lot of like hearts with F's in them.
Yeah. Do you think that the burn book is actually the notebook?
Oh, damn.
Like multiverse theory again?
Jesse, you're just like throwing all this stuff into the mixer here.
That's all. I'll just let that one sit.
I do feel like Gosling would have crushed the role though. Who plays the romantic lead in Mean Girls again? Oh man. He's got a name, but he's not like somebody.
You'll have to look that one up.
Yeah.
But Gosling could crush anything.
Jonathan Bennett. Dude with like kind of a face, but he's never really done anything big. Looks like he kind of became more of a Hallmark Channel type guy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I do think this caught us at a time. I mean, I think I am completely underselling like how big it was at the time. I mean, I remember people talking about it, but I don't remember being like, oh yeah, this is like my jam.
Well, it was a movie that was like, I feel aimed for teens and ended up being like an everyone movie. Like the parents were watching it. Like,
well, and how much did Amy Poehler like act like so many of like the fake moms that you would see in high school who were like way too involved in their child's stuff?
Yeah, and I feel there's like people listening to this right now, like, oh my God, Mean Girls is the best thing ever. Like, give it more justice. Like, it was huge.
Yeah.
And it still is.
I mean, yeah, we got the musical pretty recently, right? Yeah. So I think you look at how it came together and it just, I don't know. And I have not seen the musical yet. I am curious. Couldn't tell you any songs from it. I don't think I've even heard any of the music from it.
I never like heard anything that got me excited to watch the movie version. I would, you know, if it came to town, I'd, you know, be curious to see the live version. But
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I feel like it's not at the top of my list though, because it's like I know the movie, unless somebody is like raving about like, oh, this musical is supposed to be just like amazing, like we're talking about Oh Mary, right? Which like this play is like can't miss. It almost kind of reminds you a little bit of Hamilton and like the amount of heat that had coming out, right?
Yeah, it's so true.
But I do think the legacy of Mean Girls definitely still holds today, even just the original version of the movie. But yeah, I mean, is there anything big we want to say about it that's revelationary other than, you know, what we've already said?
Yeah, I think what I said my piece on that. Like,
yeah, I said what I said.
Okay.
Two quick acting roles I appreciate of Tina Fey. I think she's really funny in Muppets Most Wanted.
Oh, yeah.
She's like the head of the Russian prison that I think is like Kermit's at.
Yeah,
And it's just it's like a kind of character you don't get to see her do much as the big character.
Right.
She's very much a supporting person. And I also liked, because I think unfairly people like will kind of shade her as like kind of cold and calculated. I really liked her in the Haunted of Venice, where she kind of played into that type that some people, which I don't think is true, have had like said about her. I think she kind of took that iciness and like used it for a role, and I thought it was really good to see her in that. Like she was the stand. I like that movie a lot, though. I like all three of those, even though they're bad, but the third one is better.
I mean, can't go wrong with an Agatha Christie movie.
The
though.
problem is he came from one mustache to two mustache. He didn't give me that third mustache in the third movie.
He's trying to stick to one, Fred. He's only got so many takes he can give. I will say the one thing that I know she was in recently that I thought was kind of a little like up and down was her role in Only Murders in the Building, where she's kind of playing the like podcast host and think she's supposed to be spoofing on
Not the serial thing, right?
yeah, but it's like that person, that real life person. And I'm like, to some degree I get it, but I'm like also like I don't know. It didn't really ever like totally resonate with me.
I kind of fell off after the first season of that show.
And as far as acting goes, in that show Great News I talked about earlier, her one little role in that is she kind of dips in for a few episodes and gets to play like a female Jack Donaghy type. So if you watch that, you get to see like her take on like a Jack Donaghy character, like big corporate kind of heartless CEO type thing.
That's very interesting. I feel like that's something that maybe she was like wanting to play right after seeing how Jack Donaghy did that for so long. Yeah, I feel like I might have to check this out now. It's gonna be like I got a lot of time coming up, so
it's Great News, Oh Mary, and Bossy Pants. Those are the three like must see Tina Fey related things. I think you must do.
Oh Mary's, I think, giving it that's a little generous there, Jesse. But
I get that, like the 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk some Show Me the Franchise. You know, I think we just talked about some newer projects she's involved in, like this 4 seasons that's been going on, this adaptation that's involved. Alan Alda, you know, a classic actor, but
It's excellent.
yeah,
I can say it so well, but that's all I can say. Like Alan Alda.
30 Rock cameo, Alan Alda.
yeah,
Yep.
Hawkeye himself. But you know, can I just do a quick aside? I don't like the original MASH movie. Have you guys seen MASH movie?
I'm not a mash unless we're talking potatoes. I don't.
Unless you're talking the game where you figure out who you're going to marry and what house you're going to live in.
You guys don't do MASH? I gotta say, I know because it's what's his name? Guy who did Nashville. The director Altman.
Yep.
Robert Altman did MASH, and it's a comedy that I just think just kind of blows. To be honest, first time I watched a classic comedy, and I'm like, I don't like this at all. Like it just completely missed me. Anyway, just wanted to get that out there. So that is a project that I would not like to see Tina Fey take on. But are there any other projects that you guys would want to see her give an attempt at, or maybe some kind of revival of something that has been off now that she started before? Like, great news.
Yeah, like once again, and she was more of a producer there. When I thought about this portion and what I was going to bring to it,
Yeah.
the thing that because she already seems to be doing that thing, like what's next? We're going to do TV, we're going to do movies, we're going to kind of keep producing all these different things. It's like hard to say, like, is there an animated series, much like, Nick Kroll does Big Mouth or something like that? Is there maybe an animated series Tina Fey could be a part of? That would be, I think, fun to see her try her hand at, especially considering like to what depths can you get redonkulous now that you have animated characters. So yeah, animated series would be number one. And then the number two thing, which I think would be fun to bring in another interest of mine, like gaming. Like there's games like, Apples to Apples and Cards Against Humanity and those type of games. To see like Tina do some kind of fun little like social game involving like writing and quotes and things like that. Like have her like put something out Tina Fey-esque in the vein of like Apples to Apples.
That'd be interesting. I wonder if she could bring it to the table with that. Maybe something other than apples. Oranges to oranges.
Yeah.
Lemons to lemons.
Lemons to lemons.
Oh,
There
Fred,
it
this is why
is.
we pay you the big bucks.
Yeah.
We don't pay you here. I'm sorry. But I do like the idea of an animated series. Definitely, that doesn't feel like something. She's probably voiced animated characters.
I'm sure she has.
See, that'd be a weak spot if she has it. They're not in the forefront of my mind, but like, it just seems like the perfect thing to eventually do is put together an animated series.
Yeah. Oh, she was a voice on The Awesomes, and Phineas and Ferb. She was in an episode.
People like that.
Yeah. People do like that Ferb and that Phineas. But yeah, it's a very interesting idea. I don't know what the animated series would be. I feel like I'd want something with Tracy Morgan, though. It's just
Just think about the voice talent that would be coming to that animated series. I think would be a lot of the standbys that were.
yeah, like him, Jane Krakowski, probably like Jack Downey would just be doing something funny. I think he was even in like
Donald
BoJack
Glover.
Horseman or something. Yeah.
But that just seems like that's the thing. Let's get an animated series to kind of like maybe bring back the 30 Rock Kimmy Schmidt vibes in more of a modern time. I think animation might be the way to do that.
Yeah. Oh, I like that idea a lot. I don't know. What do you got, Fred?
I just got one simple thing. Think she'd be a pretty good Oscar host.
Oh yeah.
Her alone? Or her
Well,
and
that's the
Amy?
thing. I wanted, because of the Tina Fey episode, I wanted to just say her, but honestly, I think her and Amy Poehler doing it would be pretty fantastic. I think they did like the Golden Globes or the
they have
Emmys or
hosted
something,
stuff.
but they haven't done the Oscars. And I think that poking fun at the like highest of the highest might be fun.
Am I right that maybe it was like the COVID year or something that when they didn't have a host or something like that, they kind of opened the show? It was like them and maybe like Maya Rudolph or something like that?
Maybe. I know they've done hosting stuff together, but like I don't think they've done it on that scale.
Yeah, right. Maya Rudolph also was in All Mary.
Yep,
Keep
one of
coming
them.
back to it.
Of course, yeah.
Guess I just want to make this the All Mary episode from here on.
Sorry, Cole. Cole wrote and did that whole thing. So let's give them their justice there.
Sure. No, you're right. No, it deserves its own episode. I do like that idea, though. I think her doing that would be great. I only got one simple thing. Girls 5 Eva got canceled. I think that show pretty dang funny. Setting up a lot of stuff that basically just got kind of cut off in its prime. Netflix was supposed to kind of revive it and bring it back. I think they brought it for a season and then it went.
Let's get it back.
Yeah,
Let's get it back.
I know she's only an executive producer on that, but yeah, Jeff Richmond does all the music and the songs in there are really funny and like it's just really it sounds
The
like
cast and it's female forward.
right.
Yeah.
It sounds like songs that a band would come up with, or like even like have their solo careers. And Paula Pell, I think, is also somebody else who's in her realm that is a very funny.
Talk about another
actress.
unsung, like that's a true unsung actress that I think Tina gives space to a lot. Paula
Yeah.
Pell, 'cause as far back as 30 Rock, she plays Pete's wife.
That's right. Oh my god.
Yeah. So like Paula Pell, what a pull, because that is the perfect example of like
Paula
an
Pell, what a
unsung-
pull.
unsung like hero that is like so funny and does so much that like once again kind of like the Tina Fey no 0 degrees of separation.
Right. Which maybe is a great way to get us to the power rankings. Unless you guys have other show me the franchise that you think we should talk about. I feel like she's got the engine still roaring, so it's hard to predict where she's going to go next.
Just going to do her and like keep putting stuff out there.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Just
Get her in another Muppet movie. That's what I say.
an animated series, a game, and a hosting gig with Amy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But yeah, I think those would be all great. I don't know if I need a 30 Rock revival. I'll say that.
Well, you don't want to get everyone back together?
I don't think we need that either.
No.
Because in a way, like that's what makes 30 Rock so good. Is like there's no need to do like a movie or something like that. Because Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and all these other works kind of speak to that.
Yeah.
In a way.
Well, and I think, Alec Baldwin, he's not hanging out anymore and making
Things have
movies.
changed.
I think he's hanging out a lot.
Things have changed.
Just not around any
You
sets
got to
anymore.
separate the actor from the person.
Yeah. Which I know it's kind of unfortunate with, I think, a few people that were involved, but like, hey, I think that's just the reality we live in now. Like you have to separate the performer from the character or from their personal life, which maybe gets us into our power rankings here of problematic performance. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Best performances in all of these Tina Fey works. And if you can rank your top 3 performances, this can be a guest cameo, this could be a role in one of the movies that she was in or had produced. I think you can open up the gamut and you can get as creative as you want to. Whoever you want to pick, whatever you want to pick, go for it. Do you want to kick us off though, Jeff?
So I'm very familiar with this. This is where I kind of want to go in the 3 hole.
Great.
It's like I'd love to maybe cover something that maybe one of you two didn't.
Ooh.
Like leave. Like I just want to see what you two put out there and then see where that leaves me.
Sure.
Because I literally could have a top 100.
Okay. You know what? I never get to start.
Do it then.
I think I'm going to start. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right.
So these are my 3.
I feel like I always go last, so I'm always like, or we could let's not round robin it. Let's do all in one.
Okay.
One at a time. For me, number 3, I am going to pick Titus Burgess from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I think he's hilarious. He's the best part of that show, in my opinion. Anytime there's a storyline involving him, and I think he's just so like eccentric that it's just impossible not to watch him. It's just a really, really fun role. Number 2, then I'll say probably from Mean Girls. I do really love Tim Meadows. He just is like just over it, like from the start, it feels like. And I just love that energy because he, again, talking about an unsung hero, I think he got his due a little bit on SNL for the most part. But just his movie career never really took off. And I always love seeing my buddy Tim show up.
Do you think his most well-known movie role is Walk Hard?
And that's another classic Tim Meadows. Like,
Yeah. He's Sammy Davis Jr., right, in that? Or no?
I think he's just one of the people in the band, but he has the running gag,
of always
like,
telling Dewey Cox not to do the drug.
Oh.
And making it seem so good.
and he also has he has to think about his whole life before he starts. Like, he has like those kind of pivotal lines.
Oh, okay. I feel like I have not seen Dewey Cox since the theater, so.
And then not just on Mean Girls, like Tim Meadows was in all the Tina stuff. Like he's always just an assassin.
Yeah.
In what he does.
Oh, he's Sammy Davis Jr. in Wayne's World 2. That's what I'm thinking of. I'm like, I knew it was some kind of music related movie. But yes, he is always he's great. I don't know. I think he's just wonderful. Man, and number 1, it's tough. I think if you had asked me, 5 years ago, probably Alec Baldwin in 30 Rock. I mean, he's kind of, unassailable that's a really terrible term to use to describe Alec Baldwin.
We could describe Jack Donaghy instead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I just, obviously a lot of personal stuff, but I just realized the use of that verb was not a good one. Yeah. Anyway, I think if I had to pivot though, I would just say probably Tina Fey herself as Liz Lemon. It's a pretty great role. It's one that still, I think, stands the test of time. She is just like embodying like this energy, and she's very giftable. Like the gifts still work today. The Self 5 is one I lean to on all the time.
Yeah. Somebody
And-
bring me some ham.
Yeah.
Just
And I do just love her, like her being like when she's not at work and she's just at home and she's like in her sweats or whatever and she's just her like comfortable self. And I'm like, God, what a relatable thing.
that's like, I just want to back you up on the Liz Lemon thing, because like going back to what I said earlier, like kind of embracing like the point of view. It's like we have a big, strong female character who is not afraid to like adhere to gender norms and like call that stuff out, and was the main character of that show. And so how can it not be Liz Lemon?
Yeah. I mean, she's just, yeah, she's iconic. That's the term I'll use.
Absolutely.
And I'll pass the baton over to you, Fred, for your top 3.
Go number 1.
Oh, we're starting top. Okay.
We'll go Rachel McAdams. Just all-time presence, and I think being in Mean Girls probably opened up multiple, channels of types of films that she could do.
Hell yeah.
And maybe if she's not Mean Girls, I don't get my beloved Game Night. So, number 2, I'm gonna have to go with the Ham himself, just because I think it was another situation where it opened up different types of roles for this person, and it was showing people, because people were used to, I think, the stoic, John Hamm of Mad Men. Kind of got to see that other side. And for my third choice, I'm gonna kind of do a mild cheat, and it's kind of a weird situation. I'm going to include Donald Glover, John Gabris, and John Gemberling, who were all like on set acting in 30 Rock and would just like fuck around the whole time. They would try to get lines inserted, and hearing their stories about the 30 Rock days is like some of my favorite things that will pop up in my reels, especially just like they would try to like show ass and see like shots and stuff like really random goofy shit like that, and like try to get lines in that were like, not part of the script. And just them talking about being young comedians on that just makes me happy. And those are 3 people who are not like household names other than Donald Glover, but they're 2 guys who like from their face and will pop up in great shows.
Yeah, if you're into improv and comedy, like Gabris and Gamberling both, like pretty big names.
And John Gabris guy is, if you hear him once, you always keep hearing him over and over again. Good picks though. God, Game Night's a great call out though too. That movie's wonderful. Jesse,
This is why I'm glad I went last.
bring us home.
Because what I'll say is like, this is not on the list. It'll just be the all-encompassing thing to save time, is like every guest star. 30 Rock just had so many guest stars. A lot of them just played themselves. Like you can't even like make a top 3. So just the guest stars in general. So, and I'm going to keep cheating here, because my number 3, I guess, would be all of Liz Lemon's boyfriends. That includes John Hamm. That includes Matt Damon. That includes Michael Sheen. That includes just so many people. So look into it. So number 3 is like anyone that played a Liz Lemon boyfriend. Super, super into it.
Okay.
Now, for my number 2, so Elaine Stritch plays Colleen Donaghy, Jack Donaghy's mom, who I believe that character and that performance, anytime she's on that show, she never fails to make me laugh, and is just such a powerhouse. And want to talk about just an elder statesman finally getting her due. So Elaine Stritch, Colleen Donaghy would be like my number 2, like low radar character there.
Right on, man.
And I love so many things about 30 Rock. Like shout out to Kenneth DePage, shout out to Jack McBrayer. But my number 1's Jane Krakowski. Because no matter how many times I watch 30 Rock and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and all these things, but Jane Krakowski is Jenna Maroney. The unhingedness and the way she brings that character light, and it's okay to feel maybe not normal and be very unhinged. It was just, that's my number 1. It's Jane Krakowski.
Yeah.
100%.
And Jenna Maroney is herself an iconic character, right? Like it's such a comeback for her, at least at the time it was, and now she's had a pretty thriving career ever since, right? Yeah, it's pretty good picks. I know it was a little cheat on number 3. Jack McBrayer was definitely my honorable mention, but I'm like, I don't want to pick
He could be number 1. Yeah.
somebody, you know, who's not Tina Fey for my 3rd slot. I was like, I kind of feel like I had to.
I thought we were all not picking Tina Fey.
Yeah.
Well,
Liz Lemon it's iconic. And yeah, on that thing, Jane Krakowski too, like as Jenna Maroney, those two, the female forward characters on that show.
They're good. Well, fine. Jack McBrayer could be my number 3.
Good.
And slot everybody else up.
Good.
So that Liz Lemon is my honorable mention.
Okay.
Because I do love Kenny Pages. And I haven't loved Jack McBrayer. There's a sketch he does with fucking what's his name, Triumph, and where he goes to the Wiener Circle in Chicago. That is still one of my all-time favorite things. It's so damn funny. But I think that gets us to the end of this episode, guys. Unless we have anything else we want to say about Tina Fey.
Just a plug to go do yourself a favor and look up some quotes from those shows, because some of those quotes from whether it's Mean Girls, 30 Rock, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, the one-liners in the quotes are days and days. Just do your own research.
Hit us with a couple though before we go.
And this one wasn't written by Tina McFey.
Tina McFey.
Ooh, that's
Tina McFey.
Jack McBrayer and Tina McFey's website is this idea of, it's the episode with Rosemary's Baby, I believe is the name of the episode. And we have the late, great Princess Leia herself in that show playing kind of like this old New Yorker that Liz Lemon is trouting around with. And Jack Donaghy, pretty much, he sums up the quote is, never follow a hippie to a second location. And that's an iconic quote for me. I always love saying that. Never follow a hippie to a second location. It's very true.
It's good life advice, I think. Yeah. You never know where you're going to go after like the festival.
And look up some quotes. It'll make you laugh.
All right. I think that's a great way to go. And you can quote us on that. But before we get out of here, anything that you would like to plug, Jesse?
Absolutely. Let's do the plugs thing. First, let's plug Palindrome. It's an interchange team. Fred is the fearless leader of that improv troupe. We got a show coming up, don't we, Fred?
Yes, sir. Tonight.
Oh, so tonight. Okay. But let's just plug Interchange Theater's house teams. Okay. Father Figures plays there. You guys are part of. Just go see yourself some comedy there. I would like to plug another Milwaukee podcast really quick that Jamie Lynn Gray of The Constructivist has put together, and it's called Rehearsal and Recovery. And it deals with artists that are in recovery. So if that is something you think you might want to listen to, I think it's an important message. I was recently on an episode of that, so go check that out. But the big plug here, not to bury the lead, is the big Schmitz and Giggles summer comedy. The Wizard of Oz, Kinda Sorta, is coming to theaters near you from August 13th to August 22nd. That's the run of the show. You can get tickets on schmitzandgiggles.org. There's links in Facebook bios. There's links on my Instagram bio, Jesse Skewes at Instagram.com. So we got the Wizard of Oz parody coming in just a few weeks here. And actually, as of this release, will be a week out.
Yeah.
So go get yourself some tickets to that, because it is a stacked cast, and it's going to be a really fun show, paying homage to a classic movie and also classic bits that you get. So The Wizard of Oz, Kinda Sorta.
Yeah, I dig it.
August 13th, opening night.
August 13th. Yeah, definitely check out schmitzandgiggles.org for more information on that. And of course, the interchangetheater.com to watch some great comedy live. Normally we wouldn't plug another podcast when nobody's on, but I think that's a really great sounding show, and I'm glad that you brought that one up.
It doesn't interfere with this space at
No,
all.
we're not stealing any audience. If anything, we promote, and maybe they'll cross promote. That'd be wonderful, but we'll save that for another time. Thanks so much, Jesse. This is awesome. Fred, anything that you want to plug?
I don't have too much going on. I'll let you just plug the show.
All right. Well, Palindrome though.
Oh yeah, always check out Palindrome. That's a lifelong, plug.
Show tonight. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, show tonight.
Great.
Go see Palindrome. I'll be in the audience.
Wonderful. Palindrome playing at Interchange Theater, interchangetheater.com for more information. If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to rate and review it. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and YouTube. Join our Patreon for just $2 per month. You can get an exclusive bonus episode. This month, Fred, we might be talking about something. We mentioned the Odyssey earlier. Maybe there's something around that we might be diving into, a certain catalog of sorts and maybe framing it in a way that's interesting. That's vague enough, right?
Yeah. It was nice seeing the Odyssey, though. I was just thinking that Cyclops, that cave probably smelled pretty rank.
Yeah. I think it was quite rank, if you really want to put it that way. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, hopefully we ought to see you there. Mm-hmm. Special thanks to Nick Spitza and Mike Schwantz for opening and closing theme songs. And stick around for maybe our next main feed episode. As we mentioned, things might be a little infrequent, but we might be just toying with a little something, We'll tell people a story about that or something.
Okay.
Thank you so much again, Jesse, for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
This was a lot of fun.
And praise be to Tina Fey.
Praise be to
Get it, girl.
Tina. And thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
I got no cares, 'cause all I wanna do is charge my phone and drive listening to you. And what they talk about will always be up to you.
I was early.